from your favorite sports fam. I'm up in this thing. Shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation. We appreciate you guys, as always, for chiming in on the stream. Much love to the fam. Much love indeed. Feel free to hit the like button, family. Feel free to hit the share button. And also, if you're not a subscriber, join the Great Saint Think Tank today by subscription. And as you can see, that this one here is called Cam Jordan Takes Issue with Edge Rushers rankings in this thing. And of course, we know Cam is arguably one of the best defensive players that the Who Dat Nation has ever seen. We talking about he's up there in the atmosphere along with Ricky Jackson and Pat Swilling and guys like that. This guy is up there in terms of what I'm saying. I think Cam, and it's a lot to say because we're looking at Ricky Jackson, even though I have to put Ricky Jackson ahead of Cam insofar as the totality of his career, even though Cam has taken Ricky's sack record down here in the black and gold building, Ricky Jackson's still a Hall of Famer. So I would have to put Ricky Jackson as the best defender that ever donned a Florida leaf in the great history of the Who Dat Nation. Just that's a lot of praise, but that is real deal Holyfield. And of course, ultimately, I think Cam Jordan would eclipse him eventually, but he still has a couple of years left. We know that they're supposed to be working on, we'll be hearing that news coming up here soon about the black and gold finally getting a deal done where, they'll make Cam a Saint for life. And we're looking forward to that at Major League. But anyway, in this episode, Saints defensive end Cam Jordan has a big issue with the ranking system. And of course, let's go over that, fam. And I won't hold you this long, too long for this broadcast, but ESPN conducted an extensive poll ahead of the training camp to get a sense of which players viewed as the best at the position of Saints defensive end Cam Jordan feels he and some of his peers have been forgotten. Now, Jeremy Fowler surveyed executives, coaches, scouts, and players to put together ESPN's top 10 rankings for 11 defensive positions. Now, with that being said, like he said, he talked to different professionals. We talking about coaches, we talking about scouts, and we also talking about Cam's peers, some of the players. Now, none of those are listed, but they had rankings for 11 different positions, and defensive end is one of the positions. So top edge rushers were ranked instead. Now, Jordan has a problem with that. And this is Cam's tweet right here. Wonder if they have a complete true defensive end ranking. Why is edge rushers are taking away? And I guess he says always taking away are taking away from true ends encompassed by the term edge. How many know what stop the run means? Me, B Graham, Nick Armstead, Nick Bosa, Arik Armstead, D-Law. He says first to 4 downs, not just the pass. And, he carries on. And Cam has a point because you talk about edge rushers because, that's the big stat that gets you paid. If you're a guy that known to get to the quarterback, that usually means that you'll get some big bucks. Now, Yannick Ngakoue is interested. And like we said, the reason why Yannick Ngakoue had all those teams in the several years that he was out there after he left the Jaguars, because the point on him, the sticking point to Yannick Ngakoue, he's a pass rusher, but he's not good at the run. So anyway, if you look at the tweet, best edge rushers in the NFL ranked by executives, players, scouts, coaches, whatever, and he sees Nick Bosa there with Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, and then TJ Watt from the Steelers is there. He says, wonder if they have a complete true defensive end ranking, and why is edge rushers always taken away from true encompassed by the term? How many know what stop the run means? Jordan said in a follow-up tweet that he views the rankings as a slap in the face the former defensive ends who were more than just pass rush specialists. He had a point. Hell nah, I'm not just an edge rusher, as he tweeted. Sounds limited, like a liability in the run game, like a slap to the face of ends I looked up to, from Chris Dolman, hell yeah, to Mike Strahan to Julius Peppers. All those guys are fantastic. So Cam has a point. Most of those players, and this is the top 10 edge rusher list from ESPN: Bosa, Garrett, Parsons, Watt, Reddick, Crosby, Burns, Judon, Miller, and Joy Bosa. So both Bosa's are on the list. Most of those players play all three downs, but you understand why Jordan felt slighted. He has averaged more than 10 sacks per year over the last 11 years and is one of the most productive players in the NFL. Jordan he has been to the Pro Bowl in each of the last 6 seasons and 8 overall. Despite that, he was only named as an alternate on the list. Jordan has never been afraid to speak his mind, so it's no surprise he made his feelings known about the snub. I don't think he gives a rat's, patootie about about their list. He's clarifying the term edge rusher. A lot of people fall in in love with the term edge rusher, and I see what Cam is saying. I understand why he feels the way he does about the term. Now it could be a little bit of the sticking that he wasn't listed on the list because at some point when you're reading and looking around, like I tell you guys all the time, that these guys read these things. I've often say that they listen to these shows. They hear all of that. And that is because, in many cases, a lot of them say we don't pay attention to the noise. Well, that can mean a lot of stuff. That can mean, that could be noise that don't make sense, or, you could be getting constructive criticism coming from people, on the outside, look, on the outside of the building. You can get constructive criticism from people like that. That says, well, this guy needs to do this and do that. But like I've always said for a while, that these guys listen to these shows, they read these articles about guys, putting them on lists and ranking them because they want to see what people see about them from the outside looking in. Cam Jordan has done just about everything that he possibly can as a player to be super productive. Like, especially he missed the one game over the several seasons. He wants to be a Saint for life. He's worked hard and has taken down, our the one of the massive records as a defensive end in the sack record that Ricky Jackson held for many years. Ricky Jackson, Hall of Famer. So Cam has a point with the edge rusher. And like I said, edge rushers, people fall in love with the edge rushers, but he's absolutely right. An edge rusher is a guy that is known to put pressure on, from the outside, on the edge, on the corner, shooting around to the quarterback to provide pressure. But it is a bit of a limited sounding term. He's right. A defensive end is a guy that does both. He's a guy that is able to not only rush the pass and put pressure on him consistently, but he also, when he's double team or even triple team, like we've seen Cam done many years, he's able to stop and diagnose the situation, put his hands up to bat the ball down, or wait to see if running backs are coming out of there. He's able to kind of maintain integrity of the defensive line. He's chasing these fast quarterbacks around. So Cam has done that consistently over the last several seasons for the black and gold. So he has a point on the term. And like we talk about some of the edge rushers with the term, like we got a few guys that's out on the free agency market. And then when I hear edge rusher, we talking about on the free agency market, Yannick Ngakoue pops up. Clowney pops up. Guys like that, we don't consider them defensive ends, meaning you have the ability to be able to stop the run and put pressure on the quarterback. A defensive end does have those duties to do, and also having the ability to diagnose plays so he know which to do. And Cam is one of the smartest, man. He's one of the smartest players in the league, and he has been one of the most available players in the league. So it's a very interesting point by Cam. And also shout out to Cam Jordan because today's his birthday. So happy birthday to Cam, the man Jordan. Cam, happy birthday to you, sir. I know Cam had something to pop up and say about the defensive end situation. So what say you, great Saint Think Tank? Talk to me about that. How do you feel about defensive end Cam Jordan's comments on the edge rusher rankings? He should be on some of these lists. He really should. He really should be on some of these lists. Now, I know they love the Bosas, and the Bosas are very good. I know they love when the Watts and the TJ and JJ Watt when they played. When JJ played, he was in his prime. He was a wildebeest. So it's just intriguing and interesting to see how that all goes. And as we come into the season with defensive end Cam Jordan as the solidified guy on our defensive line, we looking at opposite guys, whether that be Carl Granderson, Isaiah Foskey, or even Peyton Turner. Could those guys be complete defensive ends like Cam Jordan is? Not missing any time and every play giving it everything you got. Cam Jordan, we never talk about low motor with Cam. We never talk about none of that type of stuff because he has a very high motor. He brings it every snap, and that's why people love and respect Cam Jordan because he's not a hypocrite. He walks in the steps of a person that is doing the work. He's whatever he's saying, he's doing it. He's exhibiting it on the field of play. So, what you guys think about Cam's comments? He considers it a slap in the face, and to a degree, he's not mentioned on some of those lists, and those are some very good players there. But yeah, you got to throw Cam in there somewhere, and I think that's a part of this as well. You got to give Cam Jordan respect. You got to throw him on at least some of these damn lists. You know what I'm saying?